All right, let's talk about something important. Today, we're going to dive into a powerful story about a fear that a lot of men face after they hit 50. It's a journey from denial all the way to taking action, and honestly, it might just change how you think about your own health. We often think that what keeps people away from the doctor is the fear of getting some terrible diagnosis. But what if I told you that's not the real story? What if the real fear isn't about the diagnosis itself, but about everything that could come after? What if it's really about the fear of losing control of your own life? So let me introduce you to Robert. He's 58, just retired from a long career, and he's always seen himself as, well, invincible. Strong, capable, the guy who gets things done. But once that daily grind was gone, he kind of stopped listening to the signals his body was sending him. And for 3 years, a really dangerous pattern started to take hold. He'd get short of breath and just shrug it off, saying, it's just age. Then his back started aching, so he just reached for painkillers, instead of looking for the real reason. He even got as far as making a doctor's appointment, sat in the waiting room, and then just got up and walked out. Every little decision, every act of avoidance just kept piling up, leading to one single disastrous moment.
And this right here, this thought was running the show. The actual physical pain, he could handle that. But the idea of what the truth might be, that felt like too much to bear. So he made a choice, a very conscious one, to live with a pain he knew just to avoid a fear he didn't.
Well, that path of avoidance came to a screeching halt on his bathroom floor. He collapsed, couldn't get up. The next thing he remembers is waking up in a hospital bed with an IV in his arm and his wife Linda holding his hand. The reality he had been running from for so long had finally and brutally caught up to him. So as he's lying there just staring at those sterile ceiling tiles, listening to the beep, beep, beep of the heart monitor, he had this incredibly clear moment. It wasn't the heart attack itself that was scaring him the most. Nope, it was something way deeper. And here it is. This is the big pivot. His deepest, darkest fear wasn't about having a heart condition. It was about losing his independence, losing his ability to take care of his family, to be the person he always was. He was absolutely terrified of becoming a burden. Psychologists actually have a name for this: avoidance behavior. For so many men, their identity is all tied up in being the provider, the protector, the strong one. So the fear of a diagnosis isn't just about physical health. It feels like a direct threat to who they are. The fear of being seen as weak or dependent, that's what can make someone ignore all the warning signs until it's almost too late. And this brings us to the incredible paradox Robert discovered right there in that hospital bed. For years, he thought that avoiding the doctor was how he was staying in control. But he finally realized that real control, true control, comes from facing things head on. Prevention isn't about giving up your power. It's the only way to actually take it back. Okay, so how did he actually do it? How did he start his comeback? Well, Robert built it all on a really simple but powerful 4-part framework. First up, awareness. Just being honest with himself and, just as importantly, with Linda. Second, small steps, because trying to change everything at once is a recipe for disaster. Third, professional support. Finding a doctor who is a partner, not a lecturer. And finally, consistency, because health isn't a one-and-done project, it's a daily practice. And look, he didn't go out and sign up for a marathon the next day. No way. His first step was literally just opening a notebook and writing down how he felt. That was awareness. Then he added one short walk every day, a small, achievable step. With Linda's help, he found a doctor who actually listened to him, who treated him like a teammate. That support was absolutely crucial. And marking the calendar, that simple act built the consistency he needed to create real momentum. So a year goes by, he sticks with it, and the transformation was undeniable. But the goal was never to run a 10K or get a six-pack. It was about something so much more meaningful. It was about this. It was about getting his life back. Sure, his blood pressure stabilized, but what really mattered was that he could go to the park and throw a ball with his grandson and not have to stop to catch his breath. He could enjoy a quiet evening with Linda without that constant anxiety gnawing at him. He got back all those simple joys he thought were gone for good. And this became his new mantra. Health wasn't something you only dealt with when the big, loud emergency alarm goes off. It was a quiet, daily choice to take care of himself. It was a proactive decision to invest in his own future. Now, Robert's story, it's not some rare one-off thing. The statistics are pretty shocking. Only 20% of men over 50 get regular annual checkups. Just let that sink in for a second. That means 4 out of every 5 men are potentially on the exact same path of avoidance he was on, risking years of quality life, of just being there for their families, all for a temporary illusion of control. And that brings up a really direct question for you. That 20%, it's not just a number. It's this small group of men who are committed to staying in the driver's seat of their own lives. If you're not in that group right now, Robert's story is proof that it is never, ever too late to decide to join. So, the ultimate takeaway is this: your health isn't some monument to the guy you used to be. It's the foundation for the man you want to be tomorrow, and the day after that, and for years to come. Every small, proactive choice you make is just another brick in that foundation. So start building,